Alright, so I'm going to go over the right side for those of you that had any questions for the review for tomorrow's 9 weeks test. So the first one is like number 3 in the 9 weeks test. The first thing you had to do was write the system. The first equation comes from the first sentence, perimeter, 2L plus 2W equals or is 80 feet. That's our first equation. The second equation is length is, remember that's where our equal sign goes, length equals 124 feet less than, so remember if it's less than, whatever's in front is going to go behind the minus, 5 times the width. Now this is how you write the system, and I know some students had already told me that they were having weird answers, and I believe there's a mistake on this one. So don't freak out if you didn't get the right answer, it's okay. But this is what the system should have been. So you plug it into menu, algebra, solve systems, then change that x to L and W. 2L plus 2W equals 80. And then L equals 5W minus 124. Okay, so you end up getting a fraction, which is fine, but it's actually the wrong answer. I don't really believe that it should have been the answer. It's okay. What you want to practice is writing the system and how to get the answer in the calculator. Definitely you want to use L and W just in case instead of X and Y, because you can get them mixed up and not know which one's the length or the width. Alright, the next one is like number 4 in our 9 weeks test. It's direct variation. So I'm going to set up Y is to X. So set up your two ratios or proportions. So it says when X is 3, Y is 9. So I'm going to put 9 over 3. I like putting my Y on the top and the X on the bottom, so it looks like my slope. And then 12 is the new Y, but they don't know the new X. So that's my unknown. We're going to cross multiply and divide by the third number. So 12 times 3 is 36, divided by 9 is 4. Alright, next equation. It says, next problem. Find an equation that is perpendicular to the x-axis. So this is the x-axis. A line that would be perpendicular would be a line that intersects it at a 90-degree angle. So it has to be a vertical line. Well, if you look in the back of the room, a vertical line is written x equals a number. And if they're giving us this point, the x coordinate is 7, so it's going to be x equals 7. That's my answer. Next one, it says find the slope of 7x minus 3y equals 5. So I told you if you're going to do it by hand, you're going to solve for y. So 7x minus 3y equals 5. First get rid of the 7x, so minus 7x, 0. I do to one side, do to the other, minus 7x. Then I need to get rid of the coefficient of x, or the number that's in front of x, y. So number in front of y is negative 3 and they're touching, so that's multiplication. To get rid of it, we do the opposite. Divide by a negative 3. But if I divide, I have to divide everything by a negative 3. If they're asking me for the slope, it's the one with the x. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So my slope is positive 7/3. More than likely, the answer will be in a fraction, but just in case, you can do 7 divided by 3, control enter, and it changes to a decimal, 2.333. So either way, you would have the right answer. Now, if you don't want to do it by hand and you want to use the calculator, then you're going to have to open a graph, delete the equal sign, select relation, plug it in. Okay, and then if you go menu, analyze graph, and dy dx, analyze graph, and dy dx is the same thing as changing y over changing x, which is our slope. So just click on it, and it'll have this floating little dot. Click, and our slope is 2.3. Again, if our answer is in fractions, then you would have to change all of them to decimals to see which one gives you the 2.3. Okay, so two ways of doing it, by hand or in the calculator. Alright, next one, solve systems. So that one again is just a calculator one. Menu, algebra, solve systems. We can leave that one as x and y. Plug in the first equation, 15x equals 12y plus 13. 30x plus 9y equals 4. Enter. Okay, so that's my answer, 1/3 and negative 2/3. In case they might just only ask me for the x, this would be my answer, or they might only ask me for the y. If this was a graph, then they would intersect at that point. This is one solution because it's only 1 point. Okay. All right, the next one. Sorry, this answer here is from this table, but let me do this one and kind of to the side. So it asks for the correlation coefficient, or the R. So you're going to go to List and Spreadsheets. You're going to plug in an X on the top, a Y on the B cell, and then where it says 1, you're going to plug in all your X values, then all your Y values on the right. So let me plug them in. Okay, then all the Y values. 98. Okay, once you have that, you're going to go Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculate, and Linear Regression, MX plus B, that first one right there. Select your X, select the Y, hit OK. Make sure you go all the way up so you can see the answers. Now the M is going to be my slope, the B is going to be my y-intercept, but in this first question they're only asking me for the R, the correlation coefficient. It's the second R because the first one is R squared. I only want the R. So my answer is a negative. So this is a negative correlation of negative 0.7677, or if you want to round, it would be negative 0.77. If it asks you for the line of best fit, it's asking you for the equation. Well, the equation is y equals mx plus b, and they already give me the m if you plugged it into here. The m is negative 1.6069. So negative 1.6, I'm going to round, just put negative 1.61x plus the y-intercept 116.95, but I kind of ran out of room there. Okay, because that's the b right here.